My wife died 3 months ago, and last night she called me for the 7th time. I know how that sounds. Believe me, I've been to therapy. I've taken the pills. I've had the conversations with concerned friends who think I'm having a breakdown. But I'm telling you, the calls are real. Her number appears on my phone, her voice comes through the speaker, and each time, she remembers a little bit more. Let me start from the beginning. Natalie died on a Tuesday in July. She was driving home from her sister's place in Portland when a semi lost control on the interstate. The highway patrol said she died instantly. They said that like it was supposed to be comforting. Like instant meant painless. Like instant meant she didn't have time to be afraid. We'd been married for 6 years, together for 9. High school sweethearts who actually made it work, which everybody said was impossible. She was a 5th-grade teacher. I'm a software developer. We had a 3-bedroom house in the suburbs, a rescue dog named Charlie, and plans to start trying for kids next year. Normal. We were so beautifully, boringly normal. The funeral was a blur. Her sister, Rebecca, held my hand through most of it. Natalie's mother couldn't stop crying. My own parents flew in from Arizona and spent the week trying to convince me to move back home, like I was 22 again instead of 31. I smiled and nodded and felt absolutely nothing. The grief counselor said that was normal too. Shock, she called it. A protective mechanism. The numbness lasted 2 weeks. And then one night, I woke up at 2 a.m. to my phone ringing on the nightstand. Natalie's name glowed on the screen. My first thought was that someone had stolen her phone from her car before the police secured the scene. My second thought was that it was some kind of sick prank. I answered because I was angry, ready to scream at whatever monster would do something like this. "Hello?" My voice cracked. Silence. Then breathing, soft and steady, like someone trying to remember how to speak. "Jake?" I dropped the phone. It was her voice, not a recording, not an imitation, her actual voice, with that slight upturn at the end that made every statement sound like a question. The way she said my name when she was uncertain about something. I grabbed the phone off the floor, hands shaking. "Natalie?" "Jake, where am I?" "Baby, where are you? What's happening? They said the accident." "I can't see anything. It's so dark. Why is it dark?" "Natalie, listen to me. Tell me where you are. I'll come get you. Just tell me." The line went dead. I called back immediately, straight to voicemail. Her voicemail. The one she'd recorded 2 years ago, giggling because she could never get through it without laughing. "Hi, you've reached Natalie. I'm probably teaching or walking Charlie or ignoring my phone because Jake's making me watch another sci-fi show. Leave a message." I must have listened to that greeting 50 times that night just to hear her voice again. In the morning, I convinced myself it had been a dream, grief hallucination. My therapist had warned me this might happen, the mind playing tricks, trying to process impossible loss. I didn't tell anyone about the call. They'd put me on stronger medication, or worse, have me committed. But I checked my phone log. The call was there. Natalie's number. Duration, 43 seconds, 2:17 a.m. The second call came 5 days later. I was making dinner, boxed mac and cheese, because I hadn't cooked a real meal since the funeral, when her ringtone started playing. I'd never changed it. Still, that cheerful piano melody she'd picked out, the one she said sounded like sunshine. This time I answered on the first ring. "Natalie?" "Jake!" Relief flooded her voice. "Oh God, Jake, I've been trying to reach you." "I'm here. I'm right here. Natalie, what's happening? Where are you?" "I don't know. I don't understand. Everything's wrong. I can't remember how I got here." "The accident. Baby, there was an accident. I couldn't say it. Couldn't make it real by speaking it out loud. "What accident? Jake, you're not making sense. I need you to come get me. It's cold here. It's so cold and I can't find my way out." "Out of where? Natalie, describe what you see." A pause. When she spoke again, her voice was smaller, frightened. "Darkness. Just endless darkness. But I can hear things. Voices, I think. Whispers. They're getting closer." "Who's there with you? Is someone helping you?" "No one's helping me." Panic now, sharp and rising. "They're just watching, waiting." "Jake, please, I'm scared. Why can't I remember? Why can't I—" The call dropped. I tried calling back, voicemail. I tried texting. The messages went through, delivered, read receipts and everything, but no response. I stared at my phone for 3 hours, willing it to ring again. That's when I made my first mistake. I told Rebecca. We met for coffee the next day, and I explained everything. The calls, Natalie's voice, the darkness she described. I expected concern, maybe even belief. We'd always gotten along well, even before Natalie and I got married. Rebecca listened, her face carefully neutral, and then she reached across the table and took my hand. "Jake, I need you to hear this. Natalie's phone was destroyed in the accident, completely. They gave me what they recovered from her car, her purse, some CDs, that stuffed penguin she kept on her dashboard. The phone was in pieces. They couldn't even recover the SIM card. But I have the call logs I can show you. I know you believe you're receiving these calls. Dr. Morrison explained this might happen. Grief manifests in unexpected ways. Sometimes we see things, hear things. Our brains are trying to cope with trauma by—" I pulled my hand away. "You think I'm crazy. I think you're grieving. There's a difference." I should have dropped it. Should have nodded and agreed and gone back to therapy and upped my dosage. But that night, lying in bed at 2 a.m., my phone rang again. This time I recorded it. "Natalie," I whispered, holding the phone between my ear and shoulder, while my other hand fumbled with the voice memo app. "Jake, something's wrong with me." Her voice sounded different, strained, like she was speaking through water. "What do you mean?" "I keep forgetting things, important things. Earlier today, was it today? I couldn't remember Charlie's name. I knew we had a dog, knew I loved him, but his name was just gone. And then I couldn't remember what you looked like. I still can't. I know I love you, I know we're married, but your face is blank in my memory." My throat tightened. "I'm right here. I haven't gone anywhere." "I'm forgetting myself, too. I look down at my hands. I think they're my hands, but I couldn't remember if I paint my nails. Do I paint my nails?" "Sometimes. Usually just for special occasions. You always picked blue." "Blue," she repeated softly, like she was trying to commit it to memory. "Jake, I think I'm dead." The words hung between us, heavy and terrible. "The accident," I finally managed. "Natalie, you were in an accident. Your car—" "I remember now. The semi. It jackknifed. I tried to brake, but there wasn't time. And then— nothing. Or not nothing. This." A shaky breath. "Am I a ghost? Is that what this is? Are you still alive? Yes, God, yes, I'm alive. I'm home. In our house. Our house. Longing ached in her voice. I can't picture it anymore. Tell me about it, please. So I did. I walked through the rooms, describing everything. The blue living room walls she'd spent 3 weekends painting. The kitchen with its mismatched cabinets because we'd run out of money mid-renovation. The bedroom with photos of our wedding on the dresser, both of us laughing, her in that simple white dress she'd found at a thrift store. She was crying by the end.
I was too.
I miss you, she whispered. I miss being alive. I miss being real. You are real. You're talking to me right now. Am I? Or are you just going crazy? Maybe I'm not really here. Maybe this is your grief, Jake. Maybe I'm just an echo in your head. You're not. The whispers are back. They're louder now. They're saying I need to go. That I'm not supposed to be here doing this. That there are rules. Don't listen to them. Stay with me. Natalie, stay. I love you. Whatever happens, remember that. I love you so. Silence. I played back the recording the next morning. My voice was clear, but where Natalie's should have been, there was only static, meaningless noise. The kind of interference you get from a bad connection, but consistent, deliberate, almost. 3 more calls came over the next 2 weeks, each one shorter than the last. Each time, she remembered less. During the 5th call, she didn't know we'd been married. She knew my name, knew she was supposed to call me, but couldn't explain why. She described the darkness as home now, said the whispers had become voices, and the voices knew her name. The 6th call lasted 9 seconds. She said my name, uncertain, questioning, and then screamed. Not in pain, in recognition, like she'd suddenly remembered something terrible. The line went dead before I could respond. Last night was the 7th call. I'd prepared this time. I had questions written down, things only Natalie would know. I was going to prove to myself one way or another whether this was real or just an elaborate breakdown. The phone rang at 1:43 a.m., earlier than her usual pattern. I answered immediately. Natalie? Jake. Her voice was calm, distant, like she was speaking from the bottom of a well. I finally understand. Understand what? Why I'm here. Why I keep calling. I'm not supposed to, you know. It takes everything I have just to reach you. Every time, I lose a little more. But I had to keep trying. Had to warn you. Warn me about what? The accident wasn't an accident. My blood went cold. What are you talking about? The semi-driver. He fell asleep, everyone said. But he didn't. He was awake. He saw me. And he turned the wheel deliberately. That's impossible. Why would? Because someone paid him to. Someone wanted me dead, Jake. And I think I finally remembered who. Natalie, this doesn't make sense. You're confused. The darkness, the forgetting, it's affecting your memory. Her name is Rebecca. I stopped breathing. My sister? The words barely came out. Natalie. No. Rebecca loved you. She's been helping me. Has she? Natalie's voice sharpened, more lucid than she'd been in any previous call. Or has she been making sure you don't look too closely? Making sure you think you're crazy instead of asking questions? Jake, why was I really in Portland that day? You went to visit her. You told me. She told you. I never said I was going to see Rebecca. Check my texts. Check my GPS history. I was going somewhere else entirely. My hands were shaking. Where? A lawyer's office. I was meeting with a lawyer because I found out Rebecca had been stealing from our parents. From my mom specifically, since Dad died. Power of attorney abuse. Tens of thousands of dollars. All funneled into accounts Mom didn't know existed. I confronted Rebecca 2 days before the accident. Told her I was going to report her unless she paid everything back. Natalie, if this is true, why didn't you tell me? I was going to. That night, after I had proof, after the lawyer confirmed what I'd found, but I never made it home. My mind was racing, trying to reconcile the Rebecca I knew, kind, supportive, devastated by her sister's death, with what Natalie was describing. The police investigated. They said the truck driver had been awake for 18 hours. He failed a sobriety test. There was no evidence of check his bank records. Someone paid him $50,000 3 days before he killed me, and then he conveniently died in prison last month before his trial. Suicide, they said. But the voices here, Jake, they know. They showed me. In the darkness, everything becomes clear eventually. This is insane. Rebecca couldn't. She's with you right now, isn't she? I looked up. Rebecca was standing in my bedroom doorway, silhouetted against the hallway light. I hadn't heard her come in. Hadn't even known she was in the house. Jake? Natalie's voice was urgent. Is she there? Yes, I whispered. Then I'm out of time. They're pulling me back. I can feel it. This is the last call, Jake. I can't hold on anymore. I'm forgetting again. Forgetting your name. Forgetting why I called. But listen, you need to... Rebecca crossed the room and plucked the phone from my hand. She looked at the screen, at Natalie's name glowing there, and smiled. Still haven't figured it out, Jake? Still think you're receiving calls from beyond the grave? She ended the call. You're not. You've been talking to yourself this whole time. But I heard her. You recorded your own voice, altered by an app I installed on your phone weeks ago. Same app that's been spoofing Natalie's number. Same app that's been making you think you're losing your mind. She sat on the edge of the bed, still smiling that terrible smile. I needed you unstable. Needed everyone to think you were having a breakdown. Because crazy people don't make reliable witnesses. Witnesses to what? To the fact that I've been slowly transferring the rest of Mom's assets into my control. With you, too grief-stricken to notice, and Mom, too devastated about Natalie to pay attention, it's been remarkably easy. But you were starting to ask questions, starting to notice discrepancies in Mom's accounts. So I had to accelerate things. You killed your own sister. Half-sister, Rebecca corrected. Same mom, different dads. And Natalie was always Mom's favorite. Always got everything first. The inheritance was supposed to be split 50-50. But you know what Mom told me last year? She was changing her will, leaving 75% to Natalie because I'd made poor life choices. The bitterness in her voice was acidic. I spent 20 years taking care of her, and she was going to give it all to perfect Natalie? I lunged for her, grabbed her by the shoulders. You murdered her! You killed Natalie over money! I secured my future. There's a difference. The police will what? Believe the grieving widow who's been having recorded conversations with his dead wife? The one whose therapist has documented his deteriorating mental state? The one who's going to tragically take his own life tonight because the grief was just too much? She pulled a pill bottle from her pocket, Your prescription. Natalie's name is still on some of these, you know. Easy to claim you've been mixing them, taking too many. An accidental overdose, so tragic. You won't get away with this. I already have. She was right. I could see it playing out. My death ruled a suicide, Rebecca inheriting everything, playing the bereaved sister and sister-in-law, the perfect crime built on grief and gaslighting and a dead woman's voice. Except Natalie had been real. The calls had been real. Somehow, impossibly, she'd been reaching out to me from wherever the dead go, and she'd used her final moments to tell me the truth. Natalie's going to haunt you, I said quietly, for the rest of your life. She'll never stop. Rebecca laughed. Ghosts aren't real, Jake. It was always just an app, just me, manipulating you. There's no afterlife, no spirits, no justice beyond what we make for ourselves. Then explain how she knew, about the lawyer, about the money, about the truck driver. I never knew any of that. How could I hallucinate information I didn't have? For the first time, doubt flickered across Rebecca's face. My phone, still in her hand, began to ring. Natalie's name lit up the screen. Rebecca stared at it. No, I deleted the app. I watched it uninstall. Answer it, I said. She threw the phone across the room. It hit the wall but kept ringing, that cheerful piano melody filling the bedroom. The screen's glow intensified, brightening until it was painful to look at. And then Natalie was standing there. Not solid, not quite. More like a projection, a shimmer in the air where light shouldn't be. But it was her, my wife, my Natalie. Still wearing the blue sundress she'd died in, her hair loose around her shoulders. She looked at me first, and her expression, God, her expression. Love and longing and goodbye all mixed together. Then she turned to Rebecca. Hello, sister. Rebecca backed against the wall, all color draining from her face. No, you're not. This isn't real. Natalie moved forward, and the temperature plummeted. I'm as real as death, as real as betrayal, as real as the darkness you sent me into. She looked different now, harder, colder. The Natalie I knew, but transformed by whatever waited beyond life. You took everything from me, my future, my family, my husband. Did you really think there wouldn't be consequences? Jake, Rebecca whimpered, reaching for me. Help me, please. I stayed exactly where I was. Natalie raised one translucent hand. The darkness called to me, said I wasn't supposed to reach back, that the rules were clear. But rules can be broken when the cause is just. They're waiting for you, Rebecca. The voices, the whispers. They've been so patient. I'll confess. I'll tell the police everything. Too late. The shadows in the room deepened, lengthened, reached out like fingers. Rebecca screamed. The sound cut off abruptly as the darkness swallowed her, pulled her down and in and away. The space where she'd been standing was empty. The room's temperature returned to normal. My phone stopped ringing. Natalie looked at me one last time. Already, she was fading. I'm sorry, I said. I should have known, should have protected you. You loved me. That's all I ever needed. Her voice was barely a whisper now, and you believed me. When everyone else thought you were crazy, you believed. That was my protection, Jake, your faith in us. Don't go, please, I'm not ready. You'll never be ready, but you'll be okay, eventually. She was almost transparent now, barely there. Live, Jake. Don't follow me into the darkness. Promise me. I promise. She smiled, my Natalie's smile, the one that always made the world better. And then she was gone. I called the police, told them everything. They didn't believe me at first, of course, but when they couldn't find Rebecca, when they investigated and found the financial fraud, when they discovered the suspicious payment to the truck driver, the story started making sense, most of it anyway. They never found Rebecca's body. Officially, she's a fugitive, but I know better. She's in the darkness Natalie described, the place where the dead wait and watch and whisper. And unlike Natalie, Rebecca won't be calling anyone. Some boundaries, once crossed, don't allow for returns. I still have Natalie's number in my phone. Sometimes, late at night, I think about calling it, just to hear her voicemail one more time. But I don't. That cheerful message feels like it belongs to another life, another version of us who got to grow old together. Instead, I talk to her the old-fashioned way, out loud, to the empty house, hoping she can hear me somehow. I tell her about my day, about Charlie, who's finally starting to eat normally again, about the grief counseling that's actually helping now, about the small, careful steps I'm taking toward a future that doesn't include her. I like to think she listens, that wherever she is now, beyond the darkness, past the whispers, she's okay. That death wasn't an end, but a transformation. That love doesn't stop just because the heart does. My phone hasn't rung with her number since that night, and I'm grateful for that, honestly. Because her final act was to set me free, to give me permission to live without guilt, to love her memory without being haunted by it. But sometimes, in that space between waking and sleep, I feel her presence, a warmth beside me in bed, a familiar scent in the air, the sense that I'm not quite alone, not quite abandoned. And I know, with the certainty that only love provides, that she's still keeping watch, still protecting me, even from the other side of death. My dead wife doesn't call me anymore, but in the quiet moments, in the space between heartbeats, I can still hear her voice. And she's saying, "Live, Jake. Live for both of us." So I do.